Lesson 12.9, write recursive formula for a sequence. So remember, recursive formula means you're using the previous term, the term before it to get the next term, and the term before that to get the next term. So it's kind of thinking in a weird way, but yet the same as what we've been doing. So remember that this notation, this a sub n minus 1, represents the previous term. So think of what are you doing to the previous term to get the next term. So if I were to look at this sequence, I can see that there's going to be a common difference, that this is an arithmetic sequence. Because to get from 8 to 2, you're subtracting 6. And 2 minus 6 would be negative 4, and negative 4 minus 6 would be negative 10. So I know that common difference. They are going to want you to type in the first term here. So a sub 1 would be 8. And then it's saying, what are you doing with 8 to get 2? Well, we said we're subtracting 6. So to make an a sub n formula, we're going to use this a sub n minus 1. And there'll be a little button on Delta Math that you just pop that, or hit that button and it'll just pop up that you have a sub n minus 1. Then we're taking that and we're subtracting 6. So for instance, if I wanted to find a sub 2, the second term in the sequence, I would have to use a sub 2 minus 1, which is 1, the first term, and then subtract 6. And so the first term would be 8. 8 minus 6 gives me 2. So the way I think about it's easier is just picture this being 8. What do I do with 8 to get the next term of 2? I subtract 6. And that would be your answer. All right, number 2, write a recursive formula for a sub n, the nth term of the sequence. I can tell that this is going to be a geometric because I am taking 12 divided by negative 2, right? If I wanted to figure that out, the common ratio would be 3 divided by negative 6, which is negative a half. So my first term in the sequence would be the 12. Then how am I getting any term in the sequence? What am I doing with a sub n minus 1? So what would I do with 12 to get to negative 6? Well, I'm multiplying by negative 1/2. So I would have negative 1/2 times a sub n minus 1. You wouldn't have to have a dot or anything there. You could just have it all touching since it's multiplication. Or you could even have a negative 0.5. But think this means that every previous term, so like this negative 6 times negative a half would get me the 3. All right, and then number 3 is a multiple choice. It says, which recursive sequence would produce this sequence? Since it's multiple choice, I would just try them. They all tell you the first term is 2. Let's try finding a sub 2. So I'm going to say a sub 2 would equal negative 3 times a sub, this would be 2 minus 1, which is 1. So it'd be taking the first term, subtracting 5. Well, negative 3 times the first term, which is 2, minus 5 would get me negative 6 minus 5 would be negative 11. That is not what I was supposed to get, so it's not this one. Okay, try the next one. A sub 2, to find the second term using this formula, would be negative times a sub n minus 1. So that would be a to the 2 minus 1, which is the first term, minus 6. So a negative of the first term, which is 2, minus 6 would be negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. We also did not get what we're supposed to, so it's not that one. Let's try the third one. To find the second term, it's saying take negative 6 times the previous term or the first term. I'm just going to go ahead and plug in the 2 minus 1. That would be negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. Aha! I would just check it though real quick to make sure it gets the third term as well. So to get a sub 3, it's going to take a negative 6 times the term before it, which is going to be the negative 13 minus 1. Negative 6 times negative 13 minus 1 is 77. So it cannot be that one either. So it should be, let's make sure we check it, it should be this last one that says, let's try to get our second term, would be negative 5 times the first term, which is 2, minus 3. That would be negative 10 minus 3 is negative 13. Aha. And then let's try the third term. That would be negative 5 times the second term, which was the negative 13, minus 3. Negative 5 times negative 13 is 65. 65 minus 3 is 62, which matches. Oh, so it gets exactly what we needed. And it had to, of course, be the last one.